has the white pieces. He needs to win this to force it to Armageddon. Nodirbek is leading the match with that first round on victory that he had. And the position up front, I see the eval bar says it's level. White does have the bishop pair, but to me it just feels like black's pieces are more active. The queen and the bishop lined up on the diagonal, the knight on g4, all of them eyeing f2. The knight on d4 doesn't look very stable. There is a threat to actually pick up that pawn on the next move. I see the bishop pair, but I'm liking black's piece activity here.
Agreed. I couldn't have put it better myself, Tanya. Just every piece is active for black. Who cares about the bishop pair, even if it's an open position, as long as the rest of your pieces are playing a part? And yeah, it's difficult. Fabi is going to be in the back of his mind. He needs a win, so he will be taking risks. And okay, he does kick the knight back out. I'm assuming it drops back into the center to e5, but yeah, no issues here for Abdusattorov.
But considering how quickly Nodirbek plays in more complicated positions, that knight, if I'm not mistaken, has no other moves, right? The knight is under attack. It can't go forward, so knight e5 is the only option. So what is he thinking about here?
Very good question. Okay, eventually he dropped his knight back. Maybe he was trying to peer into the future and work out whether now he can go for that idea Tanya mentioned of taking a pawn, taking this knight. I was going to say rook takes pawn now does look fraught with danger. You would be walking into a pin. Try and do some quick calculation. I don't think you should. I don't think you can get away with taking this pawn.
And if that's the case, then now I like the bishop pair because it's two bishops against two knights. The d4 pawn can be blockaded. So what Aaron Nimzovich always taught everybody is that if there's an IQP, an I said queen pawn, you want to blockade it with a knight so it can never push forward. And that is what he has available to him. He goes the other direction, knight to g6. Similar idea, just get the knight out of danger, block with the piece on d5. But as David, you were pointing out, the rook takes d4 a move ago. That was not a free pawn. In fact, it handed white a free advantage.
Yeah, this would have been disastrous for black. Two pieces vulnerable on the diagonal. So very level position, but bishops versus knights is about who maneuvers those minor pieces better in this ensuing middle game.
Speaking of maneuvering, perhaps Nodirbek's knight can also maneuver from f8 to e6, putting more pressure on the weak d4 pawn that we're looking at right now. This one is going to be quite a long fight, and we will check back in with it. Meanwhile, also developments happening on our marquee match. sacrificing the exchange, finding his counterplay, just amazing play, and Wesley with his resistance, impossible to crack. But in the end, there will be a sudden death in each of these games, and this one continues. Fabi doing all that he can to hold on. Is this now closer to draw territory?
I think yes. I mean, I was just singing his praises of Abdusattorov, but he's kind of allowed Fabiano to get a fortress.
He probably was thinking, can I sacrifice my rook for this bishop? You can tell that the wheels are turning in Nodirbek's head. His king is coming around. I don't know where to, but king can go to D1, E1, F1, G1, H2. I don't know what to do with it, but the king can just wrap itself around and actually Fabi block them. But they may allow an F4 at some moment. Fabi does need to be very careful because if that pawn structure is shattered and the H4 pawn is loose, that could once again give Nodirbek some winning chances.
And the thing about these endgames is you can play accurately for 20 moves, for 30 moves, but very often the pressure just keeps accumulating till eventually you allow a break like F4 or a winning king pawn ending. And has that happened? Well, the king has found its way to E1. Things are getting nasty for white already.
Yeah, the king has infiltrated, it's found its way behind enemy lines, and yeah, I think holding this one now is going to be, well, it's going to need a miracle. It's going to be super tough, and...
What's the winning plan here for black?
Something to do with Robert's F4. I'm not sure when, where, why, but it is F4. You need to break white's pawn structure. Everything's defended right now. You need to ensure that that won't be the case long term. F2 is the base of white's pawn chain as well, so if you attack that one, you do tie down white's remaining pieces.
Fabi playing under 10 seconds, Nodirbek still enough time. He's putting the pressure on the board and on the clock and making progress slowly but steadily.
Yeah, he wants to, now he gets F4, so he finally at long last has been able to push the pawn. He's shattering white's pawn structure, and Fabi takes it, but that can't be good. The pawns are split, and you're probably just losing one on the spot.
Look at that body language. He shifts, he knows he's got the job done. That is big progress. Once he split the pawns, he's going to go for them. Now the king can also go up to F3. You start threatening. Rook takes F2 pawn at the right moment. Ooh, yeah, Rook G2, and now Rook F2. Is Rook F2 winning in these positions? Yes, it is. And that is it. Fabi